Being a single woman in LA can be awesome. The nightlife, the beach, the shopping, the fun. But somehow, all of that seems to change when you're middle-aged. My name is Fran, Argentina-born, single, and yep, middle-aged. My midlife crisis hit me hard, so I decided to fight back by embarking on a quest. Visiting all 50 states before I'm 50 and taking you along with me.
Morning.
Okay, world, here we go. Planes, trains, and automobiles, buckle up, because this is going to be one heck of a ride. Welcome to my 50 before 50. Warning, I have an accent. Sometimes it may be hard to understand what I'm saying. Occasional grammatical mistakes may be heard or read. Viewer discretion is advised.
And action.
Action. So, as you can see, my friend Nico, only friend that has been to 3 states with me.
On this trip.
No,
on
overall.
On this 50 before
on the
50.
50 before 50.
Adventure.
Not in life.
Not in life.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as you can see, he's riding with me still because we just left Savannah. He's leaving tonight, so for the most part, it's just going to be me on this date. I'm sorry, we're going back to just being me. But he's escorting me into the state. So, muchas gracias.
De nada.
And just like that, after a short ride over the Savannah River, we have just entered
State number 49 for her.
South Carolina, baby!
Yeah, you!
Here we go! So after a delightful traffic jam and some very questionable driving, what the heck? Jesus. We made it into Charleston and dived right into its culinary scene. We had to start with oysters. Being a coastal city, Charleston is known for its seafood. So while oysters are not necessarily my thing, this was the perfect welcome to the state and send-off to Nico. Till next time, my friend. First morning in the state, and I was ready to explore the holy city and its massive history, tradition, and beauty. Good morning from Charleston, South Carolina. State number 49. I can't believe it! As you can see, it is quite cold, but we are well equipped. So here we go to discover the city. The historic downtown includes all sorts of high-end stores, but funny enough, the first thing that caught my eye was finding Freddo, a very traditional Argentinian ice cream store, which also sells empanadas. Ha! But we need to move on, because there is truly lots to see here. Starting with the city's beautiful architecture and its strong French influence. French immigration in Charleston dates back to the 17th century, when prosecuted in Europe, thousands of French Protestants fled to America in search of religious freedom, giving birth to a word which is common currency these days, refugees. Sounds familiar? Most of them settle in the French Quarter, which though only a few blocks away, it will take us a while to reach. as we have quite a few stops along the way. Meanwhile, the houses keep getting more and more beautiful and historic as we get closer to the ocean. How gorgeous is this? Seriously. Right by the end of King Street, at the tip of the peninsula, lies White Point Garden, or Battery Park, a 5.7-acre area with plenty of military-themed monuments and markers, plus a truly impressive display of Civil War cannons and cannonballs. Among all of these, I was specially touched by the memorial to the submarines still on patrol, honoring the Navy sailors that never made it back to shore. I guess I like the thought that they're still out there, fighting and somehow watching over us. Super beautiful day in Battery Park, and it's right by the water. As you can see, you can even see the shelves on the ground, and a beautiful winter day as well. Beautiful. White Point Garden lives where the Ashley and the Cooper rivers meet to form the Atlantic Ocean, facing Charleston Harbor. Different markers indicate the location of said rivers, plus islands and forts, as well as their importance and legacy during many of our nation's wars. Fort Moultrie on Sullivan's Island, renamed after General William Moultrie following his Battle of Sullivan victory during the Revolutionary War, was made out of palmetto logs, inspiring the state flag, and nickname of Palmetto State. More on that later. Other monuments commemorate illustrious figures, crucial battles, and even notorious pirates, many of whom were hanged right here on this park. But of course, the beautiful homes and views continue all along the shore as we get closer and closer to the French Quarter. Just gorgeous. And so does Charleston's extensive history. As a matter of fact, the French Quarter and the city itself hold so much history that I have to pick and choose what to show you, or I will end up sounding like a boring history lesson, which is not the goal. So let's focus on the most historic building of them all, shall we? The Old Exchange and Provost Dungeon has been directly linked to the city history throughout the centuries, having served as a commercial exchange, custom house, post office, slave market, city hall, museum, and yes, an underground prison, just to name a few. It was here where South Carolina ratified the U.S. Constitution back in 1788, being the 8th state to do so. Funny enough, I am posting this episode exactly on the same day that happened, only 237 years apart. Might as well add my signature too, why not? This lavish Great Hall has held many paramount events and hosted plenty of outstanding guests, President George Washington among them. But there were different iterations for this building, as the amazing tour guides share with you. After the British captured the city in 1780, its basement was used as a dungeon for not only military prisoners and enslaved people, but also unruly Englishmen and other outlaws and castaways. this town, which was originally named Charlestown after King Charles II, was a walled city for many years, and it is here where the only part of that original wall can still be found. One of the fastest sinking cities in the US, it is not surprising to see water at the bottom of this place. The dungeon is actually below the waterline, so floods were not unusual and would often drown inmates, which were left to decompose among the living. Yep, not a very sanitary place, and of course, a very much haunted one. But once again, more on that later. Back upstairs, we find more displays and information, including the tight connection of the city to the cotton trade, and consequentially, to the slave trade. As for one more nickname, Charleston is known as the Holy City, not only for its impressive number of churches, but also for its religious diversity and tolerance, which dates back centuries when it welcomed immigrants from all faiths, not only French Protestants. And now officially back into the French Quarter, with its colorful houses, its cobblestone streets, its many stores, restaurants, and galleries, and its immense charm. A special shout-out to the Joe Riley Waterfront Park and its famous pineapple fountain, a fruit that, as mentioned before, is a true state icon.
South Carolina is known for pineapples, just like Georgia is known for peaches and Florida for oranges. What do you know?
Originally from South America, like yours truly, and back in the day quite expensive, unlike yours truly, pineapples became a symbol of status and Southern hospitality, as they were really hard to get, no comments about yours truly here, and meant a lot when shared with others. Hence its presence all over the state, including its flag, as we've seen before. But amidst all this history, it is now time to have some fun, though sprinkled with history, of course. Welcome to the one and only Charleston City Market. Created almost 2.5 centuries ago, the City Market is not only one of the oldest ones in the US, it is also the most visited place in Charleston and stretches 4 blocks, hosting over 300 vendors selling all sorts of goods. Yep, it is hard to think of an item you cannot find in here.
So many different things.
Its Greek design certainly contrasts with the city outside, bursting with the noise of horse carriages and the sight of churches everywhere. Hands down, a great visit you should not miss. And while the market is also open at night on Fridays and Saturdays, I had different plans not too far from there, starting, of course, with another seafood dinner. And a magnificent dinner it was, at a great place with great ambience, and what do you know? Right by the sea.
Okay guys, great dinner here at Fleet Landing, and now it's time for a haunted tour.
Not many places are better suited for a haunted tour than Charleston. It was impressive to experience this beautiful city at night, with most of the tourists gone, and the streets almost exclusively to ourselves. We rode by many of the places I had seen under the daylight, and some new ones, like the oldest graveyard in town, dated 1681, and the oldest church, dated 1752, all while listening to ghost stories with no other witnesses than the fellow horse carriages that were passing us by. A truly remarkable experience with the best hosts ever.
Very interesting stories about haunted places and people that are haunted. Funny enough, all of them white. I wonder why there are no stories about enslaved people, because we know there are many people that died here that were enslaved. Anyway, nighty-night. See you mañana.
Final day in Charleston, and it was time to say goodbye to the Francis Marion Hotel, the magnificent and, of course, historic hotel I was staying in.
Thank you.
And paying a quick visit to the Marion Square right across the street, where I found, guess what, even more churches and even more pineapples. And then it was time to go. But nope, not leaving the state yet. South Carolina had one final stop for me, if only a brief one. I could not leave this state without visiting the beach. And what better than Myrtle Beach and its grand Strand, a continuity of beachland that extends for over 60 miles.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Winter. Look at this. Perfect weather. I don't even need a jacket, not even a light one. It's just fantastic. And by the way, that's my hotel over there. So the view is not too shabby, I'd say.
This beautiful residential and vacation community attracts all sorts of tourists as well as retired folks from all over the country. And looking at this site, I can completely understand why. Among its landmarks, we find the impressive SkyWheel, which is one of the country's tallest Ferris wheels, and of course, its Beachfront Boardwalk, with plenty of arcades, bars, souvenir stores, restaurant games, and more. Even cats love it. And again, could you blame them? Oh my, what a paradise. But it was time to hit the road again, and that's exactly what I did, en route to my final state ever, under the humbling and breathtaking sight of the sunset, bleeding its colors into the skies over the ocean, with hints of blue, orange, and of course, pineapple yellow.